settle, yeah.
Yo, in the box.
In the
Man, it's somewhere. Messenja, a.k.a. Cosmo.
It's your boy CantonJones.
Everything.
Ramona Jones.
And DeAndre Green.
He ain't got no sense either. Don't be fooled.
And we got a winning team, about to do the thing. Then we hit him with a bada boom, bada bing. You know what it is when we in the booth. Speak it to the house, speak it to the youth. And no matter what, we gon' tell the truth. Sometimes you gon' see the fruit. Gotta pull it from the roots. Gotta get the loot. We don't need a suit. To the room, let the game, let the boots. Let's go now. You know I can't with Canton Jones. You got this foot on my neck.
There y'all go.
Man, we ain't even in it. 30 seconds. God. Thank you guys for joining us in the booth today. Please like, share, and subscribe to the show on Facebook, YouTube, and all podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts.
Yep. And if you would like to sponsor, advertise this crazy, hilarious, off-the-chain, innovative, inspirational, Holy Ghost-filled show called In the Booth, you may hit us up at the email in the booth pod, pod at gmail.com, and we'll get back with you. We'll get with you. We'll get with you. Yeah.
Wiki. Come on now.
Before we get started, make sure go and hit that like button for us. Y'all watching on Facebook right now, that little thumbs up, hit that for us. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that for us. Leave a comment too. Tell us what you think.
Hit that for us.
Yeah, hit that for us, and we'll get with you. All right. So today we're talking about the key and the importance of an inheritance. Getting your kids in the next generation going.
Okay.
So we're going to look at Bill Gates, first of all. His mom sat on the board as the CEO of IBM and convinced the CEO to take a risk on her son's new company.
All right.
So parents' influence right there. Warren Buffett is the son of a powerful congressman who owned a highly successful investment company, invested in him. Jeff Bezos started Amazon with $300,000 in seed capital from his parents.
Okay.
And Elon
Musk.
Hit the wrong key. All right.
That must say cuss.
Yeah, Elon. They can't see that. You ain't got to say nothing.
No.
That's Elon Musk's evil twin.
Right.
On the keyboard. That's Bizarro. The K on the keyboard sits on top of the L.
And the delete is over to the right.
Wow. So Elon Musk's dad owned an emerald mine.
He be typing with his glasses on.
In apartheid South Africa. Yeah.
In the dark.
Emerald mine.
Emerald mine?
Yeah.
So they been
in South Africa.
Yeah.
So question is, how can we do better to set up our kids for success? Because that seems to be the
trend.
The trend in highly successful billionaires is that they have a starting point or launching point that comes from their parents.
Yeah, because when you think of, because this is kind of a black and white thing, you can't help it. But if you're thinking about, yeah, it is. If you're thinking about, well, our kids are black, so you just asked us, how can we better set up our kids? My kids are black.
Okay.
All right. So going right into what I was about to say, I was thinking about Oprah. I think about Obama, and I think about, I think about those two, and I say, well, what was their support system, I guess, or did they have the same type of story like that?
Yeah.
So did they have to fight and claw? Like, are there any stories like that where somebody who isn't of Caucasian descent, not just black, but whoever, Hispanic or Oriental or whatever, do they have that same story? Or is it about you just clawing yourself to the top, or I had to leave my...
Obama or
no, as these people
Buffett?
you just named.
Oprah and Obama.
Oh, okay.
So you basically say everybody that he named already had money?
Yes.
So your question is there anybody
that
who
was
didn't
set
have
up
money,
the same way,
and
basically?
then they're trying to set up for their kid now?
Like them.
in the
Is there
black
any-
community.
In the black community and the Hispanic community and whoever's community.
Probably not on that level,
Not
but I
on
mean
that
to
level.
some degree, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess this would probably be like the creme de la creme.
Right, right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like billionaires. But I mean, if you had hundreds of thousands of dollars and you had a son, which maybe I'm misunderstanding, but if you had a son that came and said, I have an idea. I know friends who've started companies, LLCs, for their children
Right.
at 10 and 11 years old, where they're entrepreneurs. And so they'll never actually work for somebody else because that's the mentality they're instilling in them now. They don't
Yes.
necessarily have
Well,
$300,000.
dollars, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's 3,000. You know, maybe it's 5,000.
Gotta start
You
somewhere,
feel what I'm
right.
saying? But
Right.
that becomes, to me, more than the money. It becomes the mentality.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
I know a great legacy, and that's Steph Curry's daddy.
Yeah.
Played in the NBA, but Steph Curry was always around his dad. He was always shooting basketballs on the NBA court, and so he was groomed in the NBA to have the type of success. Now, nobody, knew that he would be this great of a shooter.
Ridiculous.
Not like God be putting that ball in there.
I'm talking about what?
I've been around basketball all my life.
Like
I've
angels in the
never-
outfield, you know, they stop. They be like,
Yeah, I've
the
never,
angel-
ever seen anybody shoot the ball like Steph Curry.
Right.
But his dad was a shooter. His dad was known as a
And
shooter.
Seth too. Seth can shoot.
And his brother can shoot.
I can shoot.
And so you can shoot.
What you got to do with what? What do you have to do with
we be
this?
shooting.
Your mom and dad play ball.
I shoot craps.
Right. It's like, it's not the same
them
thing.
7s and them 11s.
So
Blow, son.
But I think I love what LeBron is doing with his son.
Yeah.
So there are some guys that's setting up legacies.
I think it's getting more popular.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because in past generations, we just didn't have the capital or, to do anything. We was barely hanging on. We
Yeah.
were in survival mode. And
I was about to say, well, the
as
opportunities.
a
there are more
generation
opportunities
now,
Yes.
we're no longer in survival mode, and you have to move in legacy mode.
Yeah.
Right.
We have to shift.
And
Our
it
parents-
helps that you can see it now
Yeah.
in other
Yeah.
people.
And our parents, did things, I had to do this to make it through, to, put the meals together and make a miracle out of this.
I had to walk 5 miles to get to school. Is that why you didn't graduate?
Oh,
Is that why you didn't graduate?
You passed
Uphill
out one
both ways.
hot summer day.
How you go uphill both ways?
I had to walk to school 10 miles uphill both ways.
With no socks.
The landscape of the earth just switched while you was in school. As soon as
You get out of school.
the stories be, bro.
Back
Be some
when
more stories back in the day.
Texas.
Yeah. But I think that's where we are now. Is if we're in position to take advantage of that. And thank God for the survival mode that our parents and whatnot.
And
brought us through.
the inheritance, when you go into inheritance mode, you have to almost cut off your, not progression, but your aggression, which means you have to start making time for your kids. If you are in hustle mode, it's hard to do that. You got to come out of hustle mode to set up a legacy. If a person is still building, or they're still aggressive, or they feel like it's not their time yet, or they haven't reached success, if they feel like that, even though there's a certain amount of money in your bank account, you're not going to start setting up a legacy for your kid because you feel like there's a long way to go. In our culture, we were given, our success or feeling like you were successful came late in your life. So you start building a success, or you start giving your inheritance away and your knowledge away, or even that time away or that money away near death. That's when you hear about your inheritance. Yeah. When it's when it's time to read the will, you hear about your inheritance like that. But now these people are successful a lot earlier, and so they're giving inheritances a lot earlier, and so we're learning to now, especially me, during COVID, God got on me real hard about my family. It just made me switch everything. Really going into COVID, you got to pay more attention to your family. You got to stop, redo, break down your belief system, and you got to build it around your family, because you got to look at the people that came before you. They have very successful ministries and churches and businesses, but their kids have been ignored and neglected because most of them have gotten their legacy when daddy was on his deathbed. And so we have to change the mentality to say, all right, or even learn how to hustle and give inheritance. So during COVID, my entire studio, the Lord told me to give to my son. And I was like, what? Give him what? My stuff. I've had a studio in my possession since 16. I went to college and my equipment was in my room. My roommate was like, "Man, you got all this stuff in here?" Yep, it can't go nowhere else. And so my whole life has been studio and equipment. Well, you want me to give all of what I have to my son? Now, even though that's my son, that's my child, I love him. But man, he can't be happy with the J's I bought him or the basketball I bought. You want him to give him my equipment? Yes, I want you to give him his inheritance now.
Mm-hmm. Look at
but
him
when I gave him that, this boy's music went from this level to this level.
Yep.
Immediately, because there was some type of ownership or something that came over him, that he had my stuff and not just doing his stuff on the iPad, or that he ain't had just little play equipment. Now he got grown man equipment at 12 years old. You see what I'm saying? And he switched and took that mentality. He took that inheritance and he ran with it. And I had to rebuild.
And I love the way him and Lovey argue over beat packs. Like, that's my beat. You got them drum kits. Okay, you owe me some drum kits. They're like, that's a different type of argument.
Bro, they got a handwritten contract on the refrigerator right now. Minion owes Lovey 5 beats by tomorrow.
Oh Lord!
Yeah,
Yes.
and
she's doing a photo
She
shoot
gonna
for
do
him.
a photo shoot for him and make sure his
dope,
pictures are
man.
right.
That's dope.
So they were having a full
that's dope.
argument about business and about because she didn't produce for him, so he didn't make his beats. And she was like, "Where's my beats?" He was like, "Where's my stuff?
Where my pictures?"
And so, and I was like, "The reason why y'all are having this argument because you didn't put it in writing."
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I was able to, so Lovey went in there and got a piece of paper. She made me sign it as a witness. You know what I'm saying? Made Mona sign it as a witness. And she got it up on the refrigerator as business because I'm teaching them the inheritance about their inheritance right now. And so a lot of times people, you don't have to have the money that Bill Gates' mom, Warren Buffett mom, all these people have.
Mm-hmm.
But you start with what you have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you start giving because a lot of kids hear nothing about business.
Yep.
As a kid, they hear nothing about business in high school. They hear nothing about business in college. They, until they have to get a job or they want to do entrepreneur stuff, then they're starting at ground zero at 25, 26.
Right.
And I'm saying that they can start now.
Yeah.
That's true.
And
And
so-
I think one of the things we did, man, with our daughter, she's huge on Steph Curry. And so when the Currys came out, she was like, "I gotta get some Currys, Dad. I gotta get some Currys." I was like, "I'll buy you some, but we gotta buy some stock. We gotta buy stock in Under Armour, right? If we're gonna buy the shoes, let's buy the stock.
Yeah.
I want something that's gonna appreciate. You're gonna outgrow these, right? But these 10, 15 shares will be with you for the rest of your life,
Right.
until you cash them in. But that's stuff we didn't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So part of the inheritance is information. You know what I'm saying? When the scripture talks about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that's informational, revelational. You know what I'm saying? So the stuff that you're doing from a business perspective, even if it's not $10 million, I'm going to make $10 million with what you just taught me.
With
Right.
the information.
You know what I'm saying? The information you just gave me puts me ahead of the game.
And to your point, that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, I see that as a relay race.
Yes.
That Abraham got it up to this point and handed it off to Isaac, and then, but most of the times when we starting from
Zero.
From the, you know what I'm
It's
saying.
one race that stopped,
Yeah.
and then the other one had to go.
You gotta go.
Get ready,
Yeah,
get
so
on the track, and say go.
You got to go.
And,
Every time they hand you the baton, you got to
gotta go back
You
to
got
the
to go
beginning,
back,
back to the start.
You know what I'm saying? And
That's crazy.
or not even go back. You just starting there.
Yeah.
And
Nobody
so
progress.
nobody's giving you the baton. And so a lot of these people, we see the money that they were given, but
it's the
really
risk.
it's the information.
And it's the risk they took.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody, and I think that's the reality. Like, you can have an amazing idea, you can have a God-breathed idea, but if you don't have somebody that will take a risk on you
Yeah.
and take a risk with you,
Yeah.
you know, because all these could have failed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they could have lost all the money.
Yep.
But the reality is, because somebody was willing to say, you know what, I see your idea, I see what you have, I'm going to invest in that. I'm going to breathe into that until it becomes able to breathe on its own.
Yeah. And the thing is, these guys had, parents had wealth as far as money. You can give somebody a wealth of information,
Wisdom,
wealth of
wisdom.
knowledge that can transfer and produce a lot. The Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance for his
Children's
For his
children.
children, grandkid, yeah.
Yeah.
It's generational.
So the kingdom model is to start thinking as a parent, what are my grandchildren going to get through my kids?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not just my kids. Okay, let me set things up for me. My retirement. Like, we have a system that's built for selfish. It's us. My retirement. It's my pension. But there's nothing in place for inheritance. Like, you have to create your own, and get your drive your own inheritance. But you should be thinking not just about your kids, but
Your grandkid.
your grandkids. How do I set this up?
And that's
for that
why
type of race?
and that's why my faith, I'm challenging my faith in my belief system to do bigger things, to just try. It's certain things in my life that I just haven't tried. I wanted to, but fear, what they're gonna say, and then the energy of it, and then the what if it don't work type of thing, which everything works. You're gonna go to a certain level, then next time you do it, you learn from that and you make it bigger. But sometimes that mentality, and then even the energy to just do the leg work and all of that type of stuff. But God is, like I said, God has given me a second wind to start doing certain things, because my legacy is in like man, I want all my grands to be able to pull off some money to go to school if they want to, or have money to start a business like right off. Like, that's not nothing. We got money. We got money making money so that they could do that. So I am in that mode. But when in order to get into that mode, you gotta settle peace with where you are.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because if you don't settle peace with where you are, you're gonna work.
Yeah.
You're gonna work to death, till death. You not necessarily work yourself to death, which that might be a part of it too. But you're just gonna have a me mentality till death, and then maybe if you have something left over, you'll give to them. So most people don't live with others in mind. They just live in trying to survive on, what they have to do. And so when you start thinking about the future and start thinking about others and saying, man, I got to duplicate myself, and I got to get some land for us, and I got to, then your faith make you make bigger moves. And I think that's where a lot of us, man, even the mentality of the church sometimes, in the African American community, the youth pastor, he started being youth pastor at 52. You know what I'm saying? Wearing boots and jerseys. You know what I'm saying? And by that, but
he's not a Cowboy fan.
But the dude,
And he ain't from Dallas.
but the guy before him wouldn't give up the keys or the authority, so he had to wait.
You gotta wait.
All right, and he wait his turn, then it's too late. Then it keeps getting pushed back, and you're not even relevant. So by the time you get into the seat, you're not relevant, or you don't have the right information. And so it'll take somebody, let's say another 50-year-old gets the knighted as the youth pastor. It's gonna take him to say, you know what, I'm gonna give up my opportunity to the guy that's 20 or the 25 or maybe even 30. I'm gonna give up. But it's tough when you've been waiting so long for your opportunity to give your opportunity to someone else. And so that was tough for me to give, like I know, and we've had great success with our equipment and things that we've done in our family, but I just didn't want to give is my time over? Yeah. Like, you know, I'm asking God, is my time over? And there's a lot of things that's happening where He say, trust me, you need to give this up. Yeah. Because of what I got for you, but also what I have for them. You know what I'm talking about. I can't talk about, but I gotta give it up because of what's coming. Mm-hmm. And so most of the time, you get something and it's your time. You got to trust God to start giving it to the kid. What knowledge do you have that you can give to your kid now? Because if you wait,
it's too late.
Some of it might not be relevant.
Yeah, it's too late.
And so there are inheritances that kids get too late in some of the stuff. So, if you're running in a race, and you're the last leg of the race, man, how many races will you win if you see how to start from the starting line, but you're the fourth leg?
Right.
None of them.
None of them. Yeah.
So most of the times we're giving our kids the baton at the starting line when they're supposed to be the fourth leg. Or granddad got us to this point, or granddad didn't do much, he didn't leave us nothing, we got to start over. Daddy didn't leave us nothing, we got to start over. And all of our family, man, that's why I love black people, love all people. Yeah. But black people are so strong because we've had to start over so many times.
It's the resistance and the endurance makes us stronger.
Yeah.
And I think that gets lost in a lot of our complaining in the black community. There were biospheres being created over in not Carolina, but California, and they had trees that were outside, and they would just grow and whatnot. But then they wanted to put the trees inside the biosphere, and those trees would grow a certain height, and they would just fall over. They're like, why do they keep falling over inside? And what they found out is that the resistance of the wind make the roots go stronger. Mm-hmm. And so what a lot of the resistance that black people since the beginning of time have dealt with has made us stronger.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's a byproduct. Yeah. The stuff we went through is a byproduct that makes us stronger and puts us in position. My grandfather, on my daddy's side, had cancer in his body. I think my granddad had like a sixth grade education. And he, with pain in his body and cancer, drove my dad from Pompano Beach to Morehouse. Yeah. Because he said, I don't want my son working in no field. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he set it up for my dad to graduate from, Georgia Tech with an engineering degree, come straight out and work one job for the U.S. government and retire, which my dad set me up in a better position. So it went from, from every aspect, it just grows and it gets better. And my sons are now, even at their age, in a better position, kind of, economically and everything, with resources and all that than I had when I was coming up. So that's what it just should be, growing and growing. My grandfather, education was at 6th grade. My father got a degree. I got a doctorate degree. Like even education, like every level is just going higher, higher, and higher, and that's kind of how you want to, carry it on. Like with you want your children to outdo you.
Yeah.
You don't want, if you got a mentality that you want to be the big shot in the family, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
Well, you're not a parent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that's your mentality, you probably shouldn't have children.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying?
If you wanted to stop at you, then just don't have.
Yeah, that's very selfish. But I think what we're witnessing is a generational shift.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like even what you described, that's a generational shift. Somebody had to be the sacrifice.
Right.
Like your grandfather planted the seed.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So your father couldn't fail.
Right.
Because he always had to look back at that. I can't go back to that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to squander everything he sacrificed. And you see the same thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My dad did this. I'm set up this way. Same thing with your son. Like he's going to excel at doing anything in the studio.
He already killing me on the beats.
You feel what I'm saying? I can't fail.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because this was given to me by somebody who labored for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think if you never discount what was given you, right? If you always understand there was a seed that was sacrificed for you to be where you are, then you have a responsibility
Yeah.
for those who come out of you and even those who come behind you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Every generation shouldn't get it out the mud.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yep.
It's an
It
indictment
should
if they
be,
do.
it should be one generation that got it out the mud, and then from there on, it got better.
And every generation shouldn't be saying they from the hood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Sooner or later, we got to graduate. You know
And
what I'm saying?
a lot of them are not from the hood, but they have hood mentalities.
Yeah.
And a lot of the hoods, so you know, if you look at people from what they call the hood or a lower class, some of them, a lot of them, most of them have money. But what it is
Poverty mentality.
where the priority is,
Right.
and what we do with our money, and how much money we show, how much money we report, all of that type of stuff. Because you know, most people in the clubs, they got the dopest shoes, the dopest cars,
And the model.
or they have a car.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Or they can get the model. Whatever it is, a lot of people are not realizing how blessed they are. And when they were not realizing how blessed they are, they keep pronouncing the curse over themselves. That man, I'm you know, we're struggling from the hood. I ain't got nothing. Blah blah blah. Like, bro, you got plenty.
Yeah,
you know,
plenty.
you need to thank God for what you got. What you doing is you looking across the street and saying, I ain't got what he got.
guy.
No, you got enough, and you got to
But
start.
you have enough to have that.
Right.
Yeah,
If you prioritize.
It's mismanagement of resources.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
If you take the
prioritize,
resources that you put in that car and them rims and that candy paint, you take that and you start. So just go buy. You like shoes. I see that. Why don't you take the car for the money and go buy 100 pair of shoes and flip them?
and flip them.
Like it's just.
So a lot of people
StockX.
have resources. I believe that America
I'll
is
tell you
blessed, and a lot of people are not poor. They're just categorized and told poor, just like the minority thing. Don't call me minority. I'm not minority. And so a lot of people have been told that they were poor when they're not.
Yeah.
And then when you agree with what has been announced and declared over you, then you start to see the fruit of that. You know, and
Two
so
things. Poor is relative. So it's poor compared to who?
right.
If somebody is on the street, you rich.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's because you're looking at somebody else.
Right.
But that's number one. But number two, you know, it's a lot of people in Atlanta. You see a lot of panhandling. You know, people, you know, on the side, you know, begging for money and whatnot. But what you're starting to see now is people go get bottled waters and they flipping them.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I ain't even thirsty, but I'm gonna buy a bottle of water for you
Yeah.
because you're not gonna sit here and beg and just try to, you know, keep that going.
Right.
You're actually went and got, you know, 24 case of waters from Walmart for $3 and just got a little, you know, styrofoam joint for $1 and then $1.50 ice and boom, and you flipping it. Okay, boom, I'm buying 2 waters, give me 2. You know, and keep the change. You know?
I saw
But that's where enterprise comes from.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying? Because you see that, and this is what they saw,
Yeah.
right? If I see that and I see your hustle,
Yeah.
I see your grind,
Somebody's
I
gonna
just
invest
got to
in
point
it.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just got to point it. Same dude, if you selling dope, if you doing whatever, if I can point that hustle positively,
Right.
you can change wherever you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's a hustle in you.
Right.
That's
So-
And a
genuine.
lot of times it has
Also-
something to do with time. They feel like, well, I spent 10 years being whatever. I go to the church. I was a deacon for 10 years.
Yeah.
So you come in and you think you can just be a deacon in a day.
Right.
So it's, a lot of times they feel like I've invested all this time. So no, you got to sit there and wait as long
you
as
gotta
I
give
did.
them
But they can't.
Or-
But you gotta obey God because that's selfish.
That is.
when you can give somebody a leg up, and then also too when people are hustling. This is a question, you know, because you know this dude was playing violin, and he was like, you know, my wife is pregnant. You know, we homeless. I need some help. You know, and I play violin,
Was he in Carrollton?
and you know,
Is it what?
Was he in Carrollton?
no. But here's my point.
'Cause I seen him, bro.
Here's my
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
That same dude
It's probably
I
in
saw
Carrollton.
somewhere else. So he's an amazing violin player, and he got little soundtracks that he played to,
Got
and
equipment
it
and
sounds
everything.
amazing. Yeah, and his wife been pregnant for like 2-3 years. So like,
She's still pregnant.
why don't he just play without the lie?
Yeah.
I guess people won't give to him if he don't. But I'm like, man,
listen.
you an amazing. You might as well make
I had
that
to
a
block
real
somebody
thing,
on
bro.
Cash App one time because this lady had this sign talking about her kids and all this kind of stuff. So I gave her some money or whatever, which I don't, you know, money is whatever.
Money ain't
so
the thing. Tell me.
Right. So, but then she started requesting money from me on Cash App.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing.
How do you block that?
You go to the name and block them.
They will think somebody hit me up on Instagram. Hey, yo, no, man, I don't know him for a campaign. You know, man, my child need diapers. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing to pay. They you know, you play the sad song. You know, so all right, cool, cash out. Man, all right, God bless you, bro.
Right.
I appreciate it, man. Yo, appreciate it. Thank you, bro, man. I try to get it back. I like, don't worry about it, man. You know, you got it.
Keep it.
You know, keep it. Request.
And then they'll have a whole sentence in the front part.
All the time.
Like,
You become the bank.
Not doing
What?
that.
Yeah.
They do what now?
Yeah. Once you become an outlet.
I pray about everything, and you know, so God is telling me, you know, delete, you know, so you know,
He told me block.
Yeah, I block and delete, you know, the whole. Now, certain people here tell me.
Yeah, I can tell you, like, you finesse it.
Matumbo told you that wasn't God.
God got me like that one time. Like I was, like you said, I'm not in the streets and all that, but I've been around the street, dude. So, me being where I was when I was rapping secular, we would be in the hood a lot, Atlanta, downtown, everywhere. So, it was crazy because one night, this dude just walked out of the darkness. And he was like, hey, man.
I love your life, bro.
Like, he
Just walked out the dark.
Like,
He came out of night.
Like, this is a true story. I'm like at the gas station.
Where you come from? The night.
Downtown, and he kind of walked out and asked for some money, and I gave it to him. Fast forward a couple of minutes later, we stopped at another gas station. I think it was
He walked out the darkness again?
So it was that's my God got on. There was a dude out there working for it, and he asked me, "You working, man?"
And you ain't have it.
No, I had it, but God jumped on me because he said, "Man, you gave to a dude that just came out of the darkness and just asked you for it, but you wouldn't give it to the man that was working for it." And that crushed me for a long time. So when people are out there begging, they might need it, but God just says give.
Right.
So they might not need it.
Yeah, hear from
but
God.
I listen to when
you just gotta obey God. Don't worry
That's the
about
truth.
what
I
you're
promise.
doing.
Oh, of course.
Because I've been told not to give.
I'm saying God done told me not to give.
Not to give. Yeah, don't give to that.
Not this one.
Not that one.
Not that one. Not
They be out
okay,
there, they
give.
be out there on the corner and then pull off in the bins. Like, come on, man.
That
that
was-
ain't-
Man, I'm talking about making more money than me.
Saw the video of the man got a fight with the guy in Atlanta. It was in Atlanta. The
Okay,
dude had
got
a
Atlanta
Benz.
story.
Literally had a Benz. He had got in the Benz. He was begging. He went and bought beer, got into a Benz, and the dude had followed him and literally confronted him like, "I want my money," and got to physically fighting.
Wow.
I'm talking about a brand new Benz.
Wow.
Yeah, they do that.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And
So are you mad at the hustle
And
or are
there
you
were homeless
mad?
people around his car.
Yeah.
So the dude took the money from him and gave it to the homeless people. Like, yo, you playing.
Oh, okay.
Wow. See, on that note, all right.
Yeah.
3 things you've used outside
That
of
was a
its
change?
purpose.
Was that a transition?
A segue.
That segue was just.
That was perfect.
I thought he was about to say something else. He said, on that note.
What's that on that note?
On that note, 3 things.
On that note, meet me outside. I'm with you.
Three things you've used outside of its purpose.
A pot
A pot.
under the bed. We broke the bed thing and put.
Wait a minute, player.
Bruh.
You ain't know, right? Hey,
Resting on the bed.
might
That
have
boy,
kids.
cockeyed.
You and your
Oh, you talking about the kids?
You,
Yeah.
Oh, you
I thought you
but
were
we
doing-
thought you could tell. I'm like, what in the world? But what's going on with you and Tip? That boy, Tip done whoop that Tip.
He was trying to de-escalate the situation.
He was trying to de-escalate the situation.
Man, all right. Man, I use everything out of purpose, but we use great tape for everything, but
Oh.
him and pants, stopping blood.
I want to hear that. I need the story.
No.
What kind of blood
I
y'all
just
stop
saying,
with great tape?
you great tape you use for everything, bro. What don't you use great tape for?
Everything.
we just saw that on the
What?
TV show.
That's not blood.
Yeah, because if you put it on there tight enough.
Yeah, you stop blood, boy.
Well, I mean, the main one.
Also,
all
your
of us
circulation
use-
is not
all of us
coming
use
out of
was
that.
the not curtain, but the hanger, the wire hanger for antenna.
Oh, okay, true. Yeah, true.
The antenna.
Oh,
yeah.
Bro, if you still got an antenna.
No, I'm just saying we've all done it.
Or you can use it.
No, you're not gonna tell me what I've done. You're not.
You missed that time.
Or to make a marshmallow. You
Back
can
in
go.
the 80s,
You
we
can
had to
cook.
put
Yeah, I had a TV with a real antenna.
a wire
like-
hanger on the
When
back.
TVs had backs.
Hey.
Remember when you don't
your
remember when TV
mechanic-
had backs?
Your mechanic be like, girl, put some gas in the gear shaft. Yeah, her mechanic, man, her mechanic was juicing her, man. And I was
He
like,
was
Jazz,
He said,
it's
put
the
some
battery.
gas where?
You ain't supposed
In the
to
back,
Put a banana in the tailpipe.
gas in the battery post.
That joke was just, it was just, and she was like,
He was
what
being
he said?
real dramatic about what happened.
Tell me what happened.
Put some
Like
flour
what
when
was
you
telling you.
put some flour when your
That
gas
joke,
tank is
I
driving
was
over
like,
there.
Jazz, it's late. After church, it's late. We helping you with the car. Let's just go in here and get a battery. And he was like, listen. No. Look, reach up under the hood. You gonna see a wire. You gonna see a wire.
Oh, why?
Pull that wire.
You gotta wrench up under the.
Pull that wire. Dip it in some lemonade. Put it back in there.
Wrench around.
But it gotta be Chick-fil-A.
I was like, man.
They close on
I was
Sunday,
like,
so you
Jazz,
out of luck
man,
today.
let's just get a battery, man. So I mean,
Hey, my wife said.
with cars,
My wife said flip flop is a doorstop.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I've done
Oh
that.
yeah, the rubber bottom.
Oh,
Yeah, the rubber bottom. Yeah.
There
That's
might
stop
be
the
some
door.
Florida stuff.
Yeah.
y'all. I mean, everybody got to do this. You know, paper towel for toilet tissue. It's a little bit more rough,
Or
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Booty roll.
A little bad.
Leaves.
Quick trip napkins and saved my life a
nothing?
few times.
Your hand, bro.
Nothing but.
That was him. Get off me. Get off me. Get off me. Yes, that was him. Get off me.
I'm talking about your boy.
That was
I'm talking about your boy. That's your boy.
Oh, here's my hip.
But
The ball.
Oh yeah. That joke was
Boy, that joke
crazy.
was so hilarious.
I mean, the most hilarious thing I've
Man.
ever
All
seen.
right, so because of free life, I would say zip ties.
Oh my
thanks.
God. I have never seen zip ties more in my life.
I don't think the
life.
creative zip ties ever thought we put zip ties.
Yes, on
Ever.
everything.
I can put zip ties everywhere.
Boy, he can fix your air conditioning unit with zip
No,
ties.
with zip ties.
Yes.
Creative zip ties.
Put your tire on with zip ties.
You just gotta
Like,
make sure we
nah.
got enough of them.
Right.
Right.
That's it. Put up projectors with zip ties. Everything.
Never have I
that's
ever.
it.
Speaker
Another one is
cords,
crates. Crates is our chair.
Basketball,
and our
yeah.
table.
Basketball goals.
basketball
chair,
goals, yeah.
table,
Yeah,
play
two
cards
crates
on
on the
it.
table, one for the chair. Just,
Crate.
crates,
Man.
yeah, we do crates for everything, boy.
Cardboard.
But storage.
But so right, but the
Crates,
except for
everything but
totes.
storage.
Everything.
3 things a movie need for you to enjoy it.
a car chase,
Oh,
A gun,
a car chase.
violence,
Give me
mystery.
Comedy.
I mean, I can enjoy
Something
it.
funny.
A supposed good guy that's actually bad.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need
Yeah.
that in the
Plot
movie.
twist.
The antagonist.
Plot twist.
Yeah.
Right.
I like a plot twist.
Strong plot
yeah,
twist,
I like a plot.
Because I think when I
somebody
figured
who-
it out, and I
who
be wrong.
betrays me in the movie. Like I'm
bad,
with you. I thought it was good.
And you sitting at the theater after it's over trying to.
Yeah, trying to put it all
Yelling-
together.
yelling at the screen.
Oh, he said that he did.
can't
say-
believe you
now
did
you gotta
me
go
like-
back and watch the movie. Like, dang, it was right there. Like,
What you don't need
Nah,
is
you
Samuel
talk to the
Jackson to
screen.
die in the middle of the movie.
Oh yes.
Samuel Jackson died in the middle of the Jaws movie. And man, I can't believe he stood up. No, not Samuel. But he did
Not
die early.
Samuel Jackson, just Samuel.
Right, he did
Like
die
one
early
word.
in that movie.
for a black guy.
Yeah. But I mean, all right. Well, I don't want to say black guys that died early in movies, but in Scream,
Oh, that was
in
what-
Scream,
that was-
that Joker died
Who was in Scream? Who
with the
died?
the credits killed him. Yeah, the credits killed him. He got
killed
stabbed.
both of them,
He got
though.
stabbed. Yeah, he died like
killed
while
both of them.
everything was coming on. The first,
Yeah, they had me put Scream up.
yeah. That Joker died so early. I was like, come
Just like
on.
Saw. Is that the same
The
one?
black dude died in Saw?
Saw who died in Saw early?
I think it was the
I
first
saw
one.
it.
I saw the first one. I don't
You
remember.
saw
You saw Saw.
I saw Saw.
I need
I need jokes too. I need something.
Yeah, I need some.
Oh yeah, like
Cause funny kind of keep me
Yeah.
engaged. Like if
But
I
I need
laugh.
suspense too. You gotta grab me. You know what I'm saying?
So we need
Yeah,
But
see, I like
but
the
every
Ryan
story-
Reynolds type people. They
The
funny,
best,
like,
the best
He
movie.
said Burt Reynolds.
He got to
I
say
said
the girl.
Ryan Reynolds.
The best movie, he got to say the girl.
The Green Lantern.
He got to say the girl in the movie. Most of the time, he's saving the girl.
Deadpool.
Thinking about you. Think about. There got to be some type of love interest in the movie.
I can do without it part.
You can do
You
it
could you could do without a love interest.
And they got
Just give me
black.
some.
What movie?
Gotta be some black.
Does-
What
have a love
movie
interest?
doesn't have a love interest?
But sometimes it's
What's love?
Usual
Like what?
suspects.
Name
then.
sometimes it's
What's
corny.
Usual
love?
suspects.
Most movies
Don't
have
have
love interest.
But it's,
Whatever.
sometimes
Yeah, they
it's
do.
corny, though.
Yes,
You-
that he do one movie. He died for the girl the whole time. He driving the whole time.
Fast and
for her.
Furious, yes sir.
She
Passion.
died
but-
and came back.
Passion.
Somehow
No,
that
bro.
one
Yeah,
lady,
that's
she
love
keep
story.
getting reincarnated.
It's in there. It's
Drake
not-
said.
What'd you say?
Passion of the Christ.
Oh Lord.
Oh my God.
That is a love interest. We are his love interest.
We're not laughing at you, Jesus. No.
We not laughing at you, Jesus.
We're not laughing at you, Jesus. I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. What accent is that? Jesus wasn't Italian. What are you doing? I know, it wasn't Italian.
It's a me, I'm not you.